How's it going, guys? Cody, guys, back again, dropping yet another video. Right, guys, this story is on the BBC News website, link in the description below like you always do. The story shit. It's just the Prison Officers Association again doing interviews, going on about prisoners attacking prison officers. It's too soft, prison's too soft, jail's too soft. Just, oh, this guy, right, is called Mark Fairhurst. Now, Mark Fairhurst, right, is a NCRG officer. Now, for those that don't know, NCRG is National Tactical Response Group officer, or a tornado squad officer, or to put it simple to those that don't know, a prison riot officer. He's trained for that, right? And the Prison Officers Association, for those that don't know, also lobbied for the smoking ban for all prisoners in England and Wales, even going as far as threatening to pull a judicial review if they didn't bring it in quicker. It was brought in quicker. That then has seen an increase in violence because they're antagonising prisoners. Tobacco was used as currency, is also used as a stress relief for decades, if not centuries, in UK prisons and probably across the world, right? So that has increased violence within prisons because Prison Officers Association lobbied for it, antagonising prisoners. When prisoners bite, they go, oh, look, violent offender. We're walking out. They carried out banned industrial action in I think it was August of 2018. They only went back to work. So obviously, they've antagonised prisoners. Prisoners then lash out and there was an increase in violence, record levels of violence again and again and again. And then the Prison Officers Association used that increase in violence after lobbying for the smoking ban, which has contributed to violence, walked out of prison, which is banned industrial action, only going back when they received, I think it was a 3.5% pay rise or 3.7% pay rise, rigid bar handcuffs, and the rollout of Parva spray, which after being trialled in 4 prisons, didn't decrease in violence at all, and violence continued to increase. So they lied, they brought it in, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, the story. HMP Berwyn is a Category C, supposed to be a Category D prison as well, but it's currently run as a Category C prison. It's in Wrexham, which is in North Wales. The prisons, I think it's a year or two old now. I think it was February of 2017 or 2018. I can't remember. It's one of them two. Anyway, so it's the UK's largest prison. It houses 2,106 inmates at full capacity. It can't go to full capacity. Why? Because even though this prison is a new build, they haven't built a hospital wing in the prison, apparently. They're also integrating sex offenders with general population prisoners. The prisoners that I've spoken to a prisoner via his girlfriend on a loudspeaker call on the prison phone, that told me that he thinks that this prison is a government experiment. Because, like I say, prisoners for the most part are kept on their own wings, right? They do spill into general population. That happens at Forest Bank. It also happens at other prisons. It didn't happen at Strangeways, completely separate. The wings are massive, though, for the nonces in fucking Strangeways. Big old wings. Anyway, they've had away with vulnerable prisoners' wings. They're integrating sex offenders. There was a kid that was padded up with a rapist, didn't know he was a rapist, ended up getting raped by him. Prison officers sticking the extendable baton into an anal cavity of a prisoner looking for drugs, left him with internal bleeding and internal injuries, going down the legal route. Anyway, let's get into the story. So, HMP Berwyn, the headline reads, "Soft approach on prisoners is a disaster." Right. Prisoners locking their own cells and having laptops in a bid to create a respectful environment at the UK's largest prison has had a complete and utter disaster, it has been claimed. The Prison Officers Association said staff needed to feel safe at HMP Berwyn before such moves can work. The approach has been enforced since the Wrexham jail opened in 2017, but assaults on staff have been high. The prison service pointed to a positive independent report on Berwyn. Wings at the Category C prison are known as communities, not cells. And cells are known as rooms. And prisoners are called men as part of their approach. It's called Mandela rules, guys. Load of shit. The ability to lock cells with guards adopting a knock first policy does not apply overnight and can be overruled at any time if there is an incident or a search. But Mark Fairhurst, The national chairman of the Prison Officers Association said knocking first never happens. He added, experienced prisoners will take advantage of this softly approach, and that's why Berwyn has got one of the highest assault rates on staff. We need to get back to basics. You can't rehabilitate anyone unless you have change. We need to get it safe and support the staff and take back control. He doesn't give a shit about prisoners, guys. It's all about prison officers. Right, Mr. Fairhurst said condition had improved over the past few months since a new governor had started. Andrew Nielsen, the director of campaigns at the Howard League for Penal Reform, said, this sounds like a positive way to build good staff-prisoner relationships, and if it contributes to a safer and more respectful environment, that is a good thing. Ultimately, at the root of Berwyn's troubles is the fact that the prison is far too large. Even though it's still only half full, there has been constant problems since it's opened. In response, the prison service highlighted last year's Independent Monitoring Board report, which said there were many examples of good and innovative practices. Now, let me just shit all over this story. Right, number one, prisoners lock in their own cells, right? It's long been the thing that I've never been in a Cat C prison, but it's well known that Cat C prisoners have their own cell, home keys for their own cell. So they can go to the showers, they can lock the pad. It's to stop people stealing from your pad, and it's like saying it's just like giving you a bit of responsibility, right? Now, this also goes in Cat Bs and Cat As. Not all prisoners, though. Not all prisoners. When I was in Strangeways, cleaners had their own keys to their own cell. When I was at Forest Bank, we were supposed to have our own cells, own keys for our own cells, but the people that used to live on the wing and the cleaners before had cleaned it out. And then they said, oh, it was going to cost a few quid. Well, we said, we'll take it out of a private cash and let us have keys for our doors. It was denied by the unit manager. Anyway, so that's that. So that's just one thing I want to shit on. The fact that the prisoners have got laptops in the cells, these are non-internet fucking things. All it is on the wing. Forest Bank, for example, you've got a kiosk on the wing. Kiosk, you log in with your CMS number, fingerprint, go in. You can order your food, doctor's appointments, you can fucking buy things on the canteen, book fucking visits, etc, etc. Well, these laptops in the cells are for prisoners to be able to like do it the touch of a hand in the cell. Do you know what I mean? That's what it's about. So these laptops are just like the kiosks but in cell, so you can type away. But these laptops, the prisoners are very paranoid because the laptops have got cameras in, and obviously where you've got a camera you've got a microphone. So prisoners are paranoid about them. Obviously, if you've got a thingy, if you've got a laptop in your cell, you can spend longer behind your door. This is the way that it goes. So anyway, so they're going on about violence. Now, if you've got a larger prison with a larger prison population, of course you're going to have more. If you've got a prison with, let's say a Cat C prison that's got 600 prisoners, or, do you know what I mean, a Cat C that's got 600 prisoners, right? And then you've got a prison that's like the largest in the UK, right? Even though it's not full, right? You're going to have more incidents at the larger prison with a larger prison population than you are at a small number. Do you know what I mean? Because you average things out. That's just the way it goes. So that's that, right? Like I say, calling, right? Now, the fact that they call, it's not a wing, it's a community, and it's not a cell, it's a fucking room, right? You can call whatever you want to call it, right? The fact is, prisoners, I know we might be uneducated, some of us can't read or write, right? But the fact is, we know what a fucking cell is. You're still locked behind your door against your will, right? You're still going to go through the psychological turmoil. They'll be telling you that this next, that calling it a fucking room and it's a community, that's going to reduce reoffending, it's going to eradicate mental health issues, it's going to reduce self-harm and violence. They talk absolute bollocks. You cannot normalise a prison, right? You can't. Call it what you want. Prisoners are not stupid, right? You go, oh, that's not a cell, that's a room. No, mate. It's a fucking cell. It's got bars in a window. I'm locked behind a cell behind my fucking door, right? Against me will. Away from my missus, away from my kids, away from my family. Can't do what I want to do. So they can call it what they want, guys. It's not, you cannot normalise a fucking prison. End of story. Right? Like I say, this knock first policy and all this shit. I understand the logic. The logic is to re-engage disenfranchised prisoners. I get that. I fucking get it. But it's not working. It won't work. Like I say, the system's beyond broke. And the prison system is as broken as those that are entering it. You've got prisoners here in this Cat C prison that have said to me on the phone, I would rather go back to Category B Walton, which is rat infested and cockroach fucking vermin infested, cockroaches, broken windows, broken sanitation. He would rather go from this Cat C prison that people think, oh, it's cushy, right? He would rather go to a Cat B with rats and mice and broken windows, right, than be in that fucking jail, than be in Berwyn. It's that bad. You think Cat C is obviously a lower security prison, readying you for release and stuff. Prisoners hate it. Prisoners absolutely hate it. It's got the same problem. When I did the video, when the first prison first opened, I said in a vlog, this prison will have the same problems as every other prison in the prison system. Self-harm, assaults, suicides, fucking cell fires, staff corruption. Look through my timeline and look at the videos that I did before Berwyn opened. Right? You just knew what was coming. Like I say, I get the logic of this Mandela rules, treating prisoners as people, trying to re-engage disenfranchised prisoners. I get it, but it will not work. Right? Like I say, it's about the Prison Officers Association, guys. It's just the same old fucking shit. This guy that's in charge of the POA, Mark Fairhurst, like I say, is a riot-trained officer. He wants it to go off in prison. Of course you do. Do you think he's done all this riot training, right? And he's campaigned to get tasers for riot-trained officers or the National Tactical Response Group officers, right? Or Tornado Squad officers or just Riot Squad officers, whatever you want to call them, right? He's fought to get them tasers. They're trained to use taser. They're armed with it, but they're not authorised to use it. What's the point in giving it to them? He wants it to go off in prison. Do you honestly believe that they're trained for riot situations, right? And they don't want a riot to unravel? Of course they fucking do. You don't join the army, get firearms training and then think, oh, I love peacetime. I don't really want to go to war. You get trained in that shit and you think, yeah, I fucking want to go to war. Same with these officers, guys. They're anti-cons. If you look, do me a favour, right? Google Mark Fairhurst, Guantanamo Bay. And you might think, Guantanamo Bay, what's that got to do? Right. There is real thoughts on prisoners. He wants us in shackles. He wants us in orange jumpsuits. He doesn't want us to have televisions. He wants us locked up 23, 24 hours a day, right? When we're out of our cells to get meals, he wants us in shackles. This is what he wants, guys. Like something out of the dark ages. He wants tactical use of taser for prison officers. He's got it for his nationals. They're not authorised to use it. So why would you give them something they're not authorised to fucking use? Exactly. Like I say, guys, Prison Officers Association are anti-prisoners and are pro-prison officers, right? And the fact is, just they go on about assaults and stuff. They never mention, when they do these figures, safer in custody figures, which actually show that prison's not safe at all, they collate prisoner to prison officer. Guess what's missing from that, guys? Oh yeah, that's right. Prison officer to prisoner assaults, because apparently they don't exist. Bollocks. You know the difference. I know the truth. End of story. Like, comment, subscribe. Cody out.